Thank you for that. So my second question was about testing for thyroid deficiency, thyroid hormone deficiency.
Yep.
What do we need to test for?
Okay, so another one that's needs a little bit more clarification, and doctors need to do a better job at this is we've spent too much time now utilizing this one simple test on a thyroid test called your TSH level. That stands for thyroid stimulating hormone. And what that supposedly is it tells us um, that if it's in a normal range, then your thyroid gland is functioning well across the board. And, as I say that, I want to it makes me laugh because it's so such a misrepresentation of all of the various factors of when we talked earlier about are you converting T4 into T3? Is T3 getting into the cells? How much of the T3 that's getting into the cells is actually getting being uptake into the mitochondria and being utilized for ATP production, and how much of it is getting kicked back into a metabolite that we call reverse T3. And this gets really complicated. And I don't expect anybody out here to be trying to jot this down and memorize this. This is all for a point. And that point is when you go to a doctor and you get back a TSH level and it says 2.3, and your doctor says, that's pretty good. That's kind of right in the middle of the reference range label. Therefore, your thyroid gland's perfect. No needs to worry there. That does not mean that in any way, shape, or form. So if your doctor will not meet you in the middle and at least insist, and that you insist that I want a free T3 level included with my TSH level that you're going to run. I would also like, if you will do it for me, is I would like a T3 uptake to know how much of the T3 is getting into the cells of the body. And I would like a reverse T3 because the reverse T3 is a feedback loop where your body is taking active T3, turning it into a form that doesn't have any biological activity and sending it back to the brain saying, we don't need any more T3. When if you measure that, you a lot of times will see that the free T3 levels are extremely low, but the RT, the reverse T3 levels are on the high side. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. This is a poor quality of life for this woman. And her doctor's missing this because he's going just on the TSH level and going, well, that looks normal. And meanwhile, this woman is suffering from every hypothyroid symptom you can see, including rapid weight gain, can't sleep, her hair's dry and brittle, constipated, doesn't know who she is because of the mood swings and the water retention in her legs. And this is completely getting missed, and it's not fair. So, when you go to your doctors, you tell them, I want more than a TSH. I at least want a free T3 level run. Feel free to run my free T4 levels. Feel free to run my T3 uptake and my reverse T3. Matter of fact, why don't you just go run the whole thyroid panel? Would be a really good idea. That way I would feel a whole lot better about
That's great to know. So, so which one is more common, the hyperthyroidism or the hypo when in menopausal women or perimenopausal women?
it. I would sort of say by far it would be hypo, the low side of functioning, so that because it's the slowing down of the metabolism and all that. Now, that being said, there's a strong case to be made for. We see a lot of women get diagnosed with something like Hashimoto's in that category of menopause leading up to menopause. And for those of you who may not know what Hashimoto's is, this is a thyroid, this is an autoimmune thyroid disease where your body's immune system is beginning to attack your thyroid itself. And a lot of reasons for that. There's no specific one that you could tell anybody, oh, this is why in every case. But for some women, it's simply the overconsumption of the protein gluten that's found in grain, and certainly genetically modified grains, like mainly what's grown in America. It can be related to other problems with other hormonal balances, where too much cortisol, not enough estrogen and progesterone have led the immune system to start attacking healthy tissue. Um, there are many different reasons, but this would be considered more in its earliest stages. You would consider this to be hyperthyroid. The thyroid gland is revving too much. It's you might be sweaty all the time and actually losing weight. But usually, the way that this plays itself out, as does Graves' disease, which would be another autoimmune thyroid problem, is they will start in one fashion, like the Hashimoto's being hyperthyroid, and then the thyroid will burn itself out completely, and then you'll go straight into the hypothyroid. And at that point, you're going to need thyroid medicine for the rest of your life, because your thyroid tissue is pretty much useless and not going to be rejuvenated. In some cases, we see that, but it's not unlikely. It's unlikely. So the answer to the question is a lot more hypo or slow functioning thyroid throughout period menopause, but we do see a fair amount of the hyper side too.
So what's the answer to a slow functioning thyroid?
I didn't get that question.
Medication? What's the answer? How do we solve the problem of slow functioning thyroid? Can we just address the diet and the nutritional supplements maybe? Or is
You
medication the
can, but if you've got something that's diagnosable, or I mean, there are numbers that are enough out of a range somewhere, you're going to need. I would not really encourage any woman to try to let's take that down the Dr. Google road. You want a practitioner. You either want someone who, something like that can be easily consulted online. Does not even need to be, this is the type of work that I do now. I do most of my consultations from all over the world, as opposed to being landlocked or in a clinic anymore, because I can do that type of work. And many other doctors can too. But you would want a consultant, you would want a physician to work through any type of hypothyroidism that was actually showing up as low T3 or high reverse T3 or something like that, because it's going to take, um, there's a very good chance that for at least a short period of time, it's going to take some thyroid medicine. And when I mean thyroid medicine, I'm talking about something that would be completely natural and safe. We call it natural desiccated thyroid. We're not talking about. I have no interest anymore in my career putting people on things like synthetically derived thyroid hormones like Synthroid or levothyroxine or any of this stuff. But to use a really high quality bio HRT thyroid, like something that came from the thyroid from sheep or lamb, or even porcine, which would be a pig form, or even bovine from beef, but to be able to use a natural thyroid support medicine for a period of time to get this straightened out, um, may well be what needs to be done, and that's a call that's got to be made by a physician, because you're going to need a prescription for it. So